Well.
First part of the quarter, but it is gone. Cam Johnson. The ball was good. Know where he was going to go.
Shit.
Oh my gosh. And he banks it in.
You drunk?
No. But this ought to do it.
Welcome back over to the Savcast. My name is Hunter, and other than talking about last night's loss over for the Sacramento Kings, we are going to go ahead and do a quick season recap over for, up to this point, over for insert date here, for the Denver Nuggets. Currently, Denver is 12-4, right behind over for the Oklahoma City Thunder, second over in the Western Conference, and also second over in the Northwestern Division. And currently, Denver is third over in the entire NBA standings, again behind over for the Detroit Pistons, who are 14-2, and the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are 16-1. However, let's go ahead and turn base over to current projections over the rosters and the players. Nikola is now 7th in points per game with 29.5. He leads the NBA with rebounds and assists with 13 and 11 respectively. Jamal Murray is now 24th with points with 22.8, 18th in assists with 8.2. Aaron Gordon, unfortunately, is currently out. 44th in points with 18.8, 23rd in field goal percentage, and 17th with pure 3-point field goal percentage. So far, pretty good over for the top three guys going over for the Nuggets. In recent performances, there's a couple of players I want to go ahead and shout out. Peyton Watson, over on the 22nd, had 15 points with 3 of 3 points made. Over on the 21st, with 34 minutes played, with 10 rebounds, 1 steal, and 1 block. And then over for a monster game over on the 19th, with another 34 minutes clocked in, with 12 rebounds and a whole whopping 32 points. Jamal Murray, over on the 21st, he had 10 assists with 26 points, with a steal and a block. Over on the 17th, he had over for 11 rebounds and over for 34 points. 5 3-pointers made, but with, again, the unfortunate loss over to the Chicago Bulls. Tim Hardaway, he had over for 23 points with 5 3-pointers made over on the 15th of this month. And then Cam Johnson, having over for probably a big eye-opener game that we needed to see over for Nuggets fans. Over on the 22nd, he had 5 rebounds and 20 points with 4 3-pointers made. And now we're for the big fella for Nikola Jokic. Over on the 22nd, he had 13 rebounds with 44 points out of 16 shots. On the 21st, he had a near triple-double with 10 rebounds, 9 assists, and 34 points. On the 19th, he had 11 rebounds, 12 assists, and 28 points. On the 17th, he had 18 rebounds, 13 assists, and 36 points with 13 shots. I would say it's over for a pretty productive time over for this year's leading candidate over for the MVP. In unfortunate news, we have 3 major setbacks over for 3 major players are currently out with injuries. Julian Strawther is out with a lower back injury and should hopefully make his return as soon as tonight. Aaron Gordon is out with a hamstring injury that was sustained during the Houston matchup and should hopefully return by the start of next month. And unfortunately, Christian Braun, with the most severe of injuries, is out with a left ankle sprain that occurred during the Clippers game over on the 12th of this month, and he's evaluated to come back by early January. Unfortunately, with the lack of their presence is already well known over for this lineup, as shown over from the Kings game. Aaron Gordon's defense is fucking huge, and on top of that, Christian Braun's offensive presence is well needed by this point. But going down over for a hot start definitely has over for its coming down moments. A couple pros that I've seen over for the Nuggets at this point in their season. They're second in shooting percentage with 50.8 behind the Lakers, who are 51.1. Their efficiency ranked at 4th with points in the paint with 54.5. 11th with fast break points with 16.5. 9th in free throws made with 27. Ranked 2nd in fouls per game with 19.9 behind Charlotte. So far, pretty good things to keep over for the pros, over for a high sustainability over for the offense. But with all the light stuff, let's unfortunately talk about the down stuff. We are currently ranked 25th in blocks with 4 per game, 23rd in steals with 8, 24th in opponent turnovers per game with 13, and for the last 5 games, I've probably seen one of the worst perimeter defensive rebounds, and for God's sakes, boxing out the goddamn opposition. This is what happens when you're having Aaron Gordon and Christian Braun over for AG boxing out over for opponents, and Christian Braun just going for the fucking rebound, both defensively and offensively. it's a goddamn shit show. When both of those guys are out, it's a fucking headache. So seeing over for right now for what the Nuggets can do with two of their big guys out at the current time is going to show what a lot of depth we had that we picked up during the offseason to see if it's even worth that time and all that money that we put in. Valanciunas, unfortunately, has not shown over for much when it comes over for both boxing out and also for the defensive prowess. He's been okay offensively. I just can't see myself in every case nor every scenario where I'm just comfortable while Jokic is just on the bench. Another player that I'm hoping that's going to be coming out of his shell on a more consistent basis is Cam Johnson. Another big thing I wanted to talk about was what's the current state over from the Cameron Johnson and the Michael Porter Jr. trade. As you can see from the stats, this is what I've expected.
Yes.
He's okay.
Okay.
MPJ's over in a spot where he's the number one guy when it comes over for everything offensively. Cameron Johnson was going to be coming over to take over for MPJ's role, but more on a defensive prowess and not as much offensively. We got over for Cameron's defense, but at the same time, MPJ's offense is dearly seen over for what we've been missing over for either a corner guy, over for the threes, or just going down over for a layup, spot-up shooter. Right now, I'm still giving the slight edge over to Brooklyn over for who's winning over for said trade. Again, it's just more the fact that we were looking more over for a balanced player for every aspect, not just strictly defensively. I'm still comfortable with this trade. I just need to see more from Cameron Johnson over for the next coming weeks. And then we're going to go ahead and wrap over for this video. Here's going to be over for my predictions over for the next 9 games, coming in over for about late December. I got us winning against Memphis tonight. I got us losing against San Antonio, winning against Phoenix the next night, winning against Dallas, and then Indiana. Losing to Atlanta, I think it's going to be over for a closer game than most people are anticipating. We're going to win against Charlotte, and then we're going to go have basically an entire week, and then some. We're going to lose over to Orlando, and then unfortunately we're going to suffer over for another loss against or for Houston. That's going to be over for my prediction. Let me know how right or let me know how wrong I am over in the comments section. I appreciate it nonetheless. But, again, we're going to go ahead and end it over for here for this kind of... I have no idea how I want to put down over for these videos yet, or for what sort of predictions, or so what, just like news is just over for a news outlet, over for how I want to put it, how I want to disclaim it. But regardless, that's going to be over for today. My name is Hunter, and you've been guys watching over for the SAFcast. I'll talk to you guys later. Take care.